chance to check out our starting lineups. First for Memphis, Conley and Allen are the guard set. And at the center position, an impressive combination of size and skill. The 7'1" Spaniard, Marc Gasol. Then there's Tayshaun Prince, and it's Randolph in at the 4 spot. And for Phoenix, Dragic is out there at Bledsoe. And at center, it's Marcin Gortat, the 6'11" versatile scorer and finisher, known as the Polish Hammer. And it's Caron Butler, and it's Morris in at the power forward position. On defense, Phoenix, Conley kicks to Gasol. Great D that time for Morris.
For the majority of his career, Marc Gasol has been referred to as the other Gasol. But last season, you can make that case that he surpassed his brother Powell in terms of impact on the court.
Dishes it to Dragic. Nice ball movement by Phoenix. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Tony Allen. That's foul number 2 for him.
And fouls could be an issue here for him, so he's going to have to be very careful.
Quincy Pondexter, he's checked in for Tony Allen. Savage, that's the way to get some momentum on your side.
Absolutely, those dunks can really have a deflating effect on the defense.
Especially coming from a guy out of the backcourt. Boy, the floor really opened up for him there.
It sure did. I mean, that was a very late reaction from the defense there.
And Marc Gasol, a little bigger than his older brother Powell, very comfortable at the center position, whereas Powell is a little more of a tweener. They're both obviously so incredibly skilled.
They sure are. I mean, both Gasol's able to play in the high post as passers or jump shooters or down on the low block, and where they can use their array of offensive skills. Pretty impressive to see 2 players like that coming out of the same family.
The feed to Morris. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Michael Conley. That's his first foul.
Tough call there and a tough break for the defense.
But, you know, I think you could still see him kind of sliding in there. I don't have a problem with the call.
There's 1:40 left to play here in the first. Knocked away. Stolen by Randolph.
They're losing their concentration here, guys. Some sloppy play going on right now.
Yep, 2 turnovers in a row for them. That's a recipe for disaster.
Tayshaun Prince had been a Piston his whole career, guys, and I thought he might end his career there. But last season, he was shipped over to Memphis to replace Rudy Gay. And it's been a hand-in-glove fit because of the blue-collar style of Memphis, and that's kind of how Prince plays, especially at the defensive end.
And Tayshaun Prince, a low-mistake player offensively and defensively.
Yeah, he doesn't turn it over offensively. He can actually play some point forward because of his ball-handling ability. And defensively smart. He doesn't gamble. Just uses those long arms to keep you away from the hoop and challenge your shot.
Deflected. Grizzlies have gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. And the layup's good off the glass. Prince has got 6 points.
Purely from a size standpoint, that is a mismatch that's going to be hard to overcome defensively.
Here's Butler. And it's Memphis on the break. And it's Randolph with the jam.
Boy, he threw out some punishment with that 2-hand throwdown.
Well, now's the time to do it. Keep attacking that rim.
And first time out of the game called for Phoenix.
Well, you know, for the Suns, it's been a hard fall, guys. As recently as 2010, they played in the conference finals last season, had the 4th worst record in the NBA, and they're not exactly stacked with young talent. The rise back to the top is going to be slow and long.
Suns still looking like they're getting going here. 6-point game. Well, you talked about the troubles of the Suns, Clark, and for so long, one of the elite offensive ball clubs in the NBA. And, Steve, last season, they were second to last in scoring efficiency.
Well, let's see. What happened last year? Oh yeah, Steve Nash left. I think that might have something to do with it, Kevin. Look, this is just a rebuilding mode for Phoenix, and it happens to everybody. The end of one great era and hopefully the start of a new one, but it's going to take a few years to get this thing rolling.
Here's Gasol. Lays it up and banks it in. Gasol's got his 2nd bucket of the night.
You know, they've been so effective when they've been able to get the ball inside.
Some real shortcomings from this defense. I mean, they've given up 5 straight looks in the paint.
Back to Prince. Puts the lead pass in front of him. And finished off by Gasol.
They've built a big lead here early.
Both defensively and offensively. They've been terrific right from the tip.
"15 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Bledsoe dishes to Butler. Back to Bledsoe. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Grizzlies will take it. Six seconds left in the first quarter. Here's Randolph. And that's not going to go. And an overpowering first quarter effort. Already Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And now we'll get a perspective here on how the hustle game has been going for the Grizzlies.
But great hustle defensively through 2 quarters of play, contesting everything, starting to rack up those block shots, guys.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
He's 7'1", excellent shot blocker, has a lot of potential as well offensively. It's just a matter of gaining experience and rounding out his game, but there's a lot to like about this young guy.
Yeah, one of the things to like is his mobility and the fact that he's got gymnastics in his background. How about that? You won't find many basketball players that are north of 7 feet tall that at one time were gymnastically inclined. So he can cover ground, and I think that makes him even more of a factor defensively early on in his career. You know, guys, the Grizzlies a bit of a throwback team, and I like their moniker of grit and grind. It really was their identity of toughness and physicality, and I thought that's how they played, and as a result, they had a terrific season.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Hey, guys, well, Grizzlies head coach Dave Yeager is all in on advanced stats, and that was a big reason that he became their head coach, fitting in with a new initiative from ownership in the front office. He knows his marching orders. A team that is among the lowest in three-point field goals will, in his words, look to open the floor, spread the floor, and give their bigs more room to work inside. He said, quote, "Other teams aren't going to have 9 dudes in the paint when Zach's trying to back down. But, guys, they're still going to play inside out." He said, quote, "I like three-pointers, but I love layups and free throws."
Well, Doris, it makes sense. They're tough to handle down, and it opens up things for everyone else. But, Clark, you mentioned the Grizzlies' old-fashioned style of play. There may be some changes in the offing. The new ownership group has made it a focal point to use, Steve, more advanced stats to inform their decision analytics.
Well, and what will be interesting, Kevin, is that most advanced stats and advanced stat gurus will tell you you need three-point shooting. This was a very poor three-point shooting club a season ago. So I would expect them to start going more in that direction, but you can't get away from your identity, which is the low-post game of Gasol and Randolph.
Well, last season on the Raptors, Ed Davis was showing that he could be a solid starter in the league. Bargnani was out, and he was filling in well, but he was moved out in the Rudy Gay deal and back to the bench in Memphis. That's a second personal foul. If he gets another, it probably puts him on the bench for the rest of the first half.
And for Davis last season, despite a downturn in minutes, you have to be encouraged by his productivity.
Yeah, good field goal percentage, scored at a higher rate. Coming into the league, we knew he could finish at the rim on lobs and putbacks, but the rest of his offensive game was more of a question mark. Seems to be coming around. He's a very skilled player.
Grizzlies making a switch here. Randolph is checked in.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Yeah, they've been the aggressors, Clark, and getting the ball inside into that lane area has been huge for them.
The Grizzlies have shot 5 of 8 from the foul line.
And this club shot 77% as a team last year. Good, not spectacular, but solid.
You know, something you can point to when you're talking about their areas of success last season, free throw shooting. You know, the Suns really had a lot to overcome as they started the rebuilding project, and they just weren't the same team the home crowd was used to seeing, and the struggles were evidenced by that 17-24 record here at home.
For Phoenix, they've had 2 chances at the line already, making them both. And the Suns, who have been so good for so long here at U.S. Airways Center, it really was strange to see them drop so many games on their home court.
Well, to give you an idea of just how dominant this team has been here in Phoenix, this was the first time since the end of the 2003-2004 season that they didn't have a home record better than 500.
And Allen with the block. And they get it back. And that one's good. 2 minutes now played in the second quarter, and the Grizzlies leading by 8. Conley kicks to Randall. They get a hand on it. Out of bounds, Phoenix takes possession. Ed Davis is checked in for Marc Gasol. 55 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Bledsoe for 3. The offensive rebound. Green rejected by Pondexter. Morris, no good. They can go 2 for 1.
Yeah, they need to play it smart. Make sure you get a good shot first, and then maybe a second possession.
Well, I'll tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
Timeout call for Suns.
Well, in many ways, the Grizzlies aren't like most teams out west. They don't try to overpower you with offense, and they don't have a superstar to lean on for big baskets at the end, but they still know how to get wins in the tough Western Conference.
Some changes for Memphis. Kufis checked in for Randall. John Lure comes in for Ed Davis. And Mike Miller subbed in for Jared Bayless. And when they did last year, Memphis would go 56 and 26 overall. And Steve, with 34 of those wins courtesy of other teams in the Western Conference.
Well, they didn't seem to play like a lot of the other teams in the West, but it didn't matter. I mean, defense, toughness, rebounding, they were who they were. They established their identity, and that's one of the reasons they became such a tough team in that conference.
Shots good by Bledsoe. Here in the second quarter, we've played a little over 2.5 minutes now. Out of bounds, Phoenix takes possession. Suns trail by 7.
This should be the last possession of the quarter if they play it right.
And if their clock management's good, it will be.
And it's Miller with the jam.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
For 3, Bledsoe. Another 3 for Phoenix. Here's Kufis with the lead pass. Here's Lure. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. The clock runs out, and we're heading to halftime. Now the second half about to start up and begin any moment.
Check out the game for Eric Bledsoe. He's got 8 points, and he's done a little bit of work behind the arc. He's got a pair of three-pointers.
Well, the defenders have that in the back of their minds now, too, so they're going to close out on him quicker. That should allow him to use the drive if he wants.
The Grizzlies had the second-best defense in the league last season after the Indiana Pacers guys, and on the perimeter, they had speed with Conley and Tony Allen inside, size and strength with Marc Gasol, who was the Defensive Player of the Year, and Zach Randolph, and they were tough to score against.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Gentlemen, Alex Len was rumored to be the #1 overall pick in the draft, but eventually ended up going 5th to the Phoenix Suns. Upon hearing where he was going, the Ukrainian was pleased about the situation. Not only was he walking into an opportunity to play, but he also loves the Phoenix weather, something that is quite different than the Ukraine. And who wouldn't love the Phoenix sky, guys?
They say his practice habits are top-notch. The sky's the limit for this guy. Thanks, Doris. Here's Allen after the made shot from Gortat. And so it looks like the Grizzlies will retain possession here. And Clark, you mentioned the size inside for the Grizz. They tied for the second-best rebound percentage in the league. And, Steve, that was a huge area for them.
And on the perimeter, they were in the top 5 in steals, Kevin. So you talk about defense and rebounding and low post scoring. I mean, that's a really good foundation for an excellent team.
Here's Morris following the basket by Marc Gasol. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Michael Conley. That'll be his second foul of the game. So Memphis going with almost an entire new group here. Beasley kicks to Morris. Buries the long-range jumper. Morris has got himself on the board with 3 there.
And that kind of defense is just not going to cut it, guys. They have to get a hand in his face.
I'm watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation.
You know, he's got to take care of the ball much better than he has been. By himself, he's accounted for 4 turnovers. That's way too many.
Ed Davis is checked in for Memphis. Ball's knocked loose. Allen passes to Conley. And Gerald Green picks up the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Jared Bayless is checked in for Memphis. just over a minute and a half played here in the third. There's the bucket. Good.
These defenders are not putting up much of a fight on the interior. It's been embarrassing. That's 10 consecutive points allowed in the lane.
And that's not the kind of streak you want to have if you're playing defense.
Grizzlies have shot 70% from the free throw line tonight, 7 for 10. And that one misses.
You know, when you're one of the worst teams in the league, you have a lot of problems. And for the Suns, one of their biggest problems was that opponents shot very close to 40% against them from behind the arc. And that's just not a winning number.
Tayshaun Prince is checked in for Marc Gasol. Morris, he's guarded by Davis. Here's Len. Soft touch off the glass. Len's got his third basket of the night right there.
Some big points there. I mean, they got him on a nice play to get the ball right to the bucket.
That's what they're looking for down the stretch, Clark. More of the same. Get it inside.
As you said, Clark, with the Suns, dead last in the league in terms of opposing three-point percentage. Defense overall was a problem for him, Steve, but especially in closing out on shooters beyond the arc.
Well, the three-point shot, Kevin, has become such a huge part of every NBA team's offense now that if you're struggling to defend that line, you're going to really find yourself at the bottom of the league defensively and record-wise, and that's exactly where Phoenix found itself.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Here's Conley, and the layup falls. Conley's got 5 points so far.
They are owning the lane right now. Every one of their last 10 points has come either at or near the rim.
Great looks in tight because they're finding lanes to the hoop whenever they want them.
Here's Davis, and there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
How about that now? What a sensational finish.
Oh, got to be able to get some hang time to do that one.
Yeah, you got to rise and levitate.
Suspend yourself.
Yeah, levitate.
And glide. And glide. You got to glide in and reverse it home. So sweet.
Pondexter with it. And the final period of play just about to start. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Grizzlies.
You know, block shots, guys, a clear indicator on the stat sheet of their excellent defense. I mean, leaving them no room to get off any shots.
And I'll tell you the other thing that's been a factor is the transition game. They're scoring a lot of points on the fast break.
We're here for the Suns. The Grizzlies shooting 71% all in all in this one. They've been brilliant offensively. It's Allen with the drive. Goes straight through the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. That's on.
Yeah, fantastic body control. And the will to get it done. You like that focus.
No good. And the Grizzlies going the other way now. Gets it to go. And the Grizzlies lead by 13.
Just seems like they're finding an open lane to the hoop every time down. That's 5 buckets in a row for them.
Have to show more fight on the interior.
The Grizzlies making a switch here. On Dexter's end. The fourth.
Well, he didn't quit on the play. He defended the shot, contested it, and then got back straight to the glass.
Took the opportunity when he saw it.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
Allen kicks to Conley. That's his first foul. In the fourth. Conley, the pass to Allen. And he stuffs it. What a pass to set him up.
Michael Conley with excellent vision on that pass.
They're trailing by 12. 1:46 left to play here in the fourth.
A lot of what Memphis has done to build its team would have to be considered taking the undervalued approach. You look at guys like Zebo, Marc Gasol, and most recently Jared Bayless. Those were good players that really have found a nice home in Memphis.
Ed Davis is checked in for Quincy Pondexter. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Yes, Kevin, during that last break, I heard Jeff Hornacek as he addressed his team. No surprise, really. The turnover situation was the focus. He told them, listen, we're giving it we've got to protect the ball, play within ourselves, and get quality shots. Kevin?
And thank you for that, Doris. The first free throw is good. Well, Clark, just talking about Memphis, they really have taken a group of players that were thought to be non-impact roster spots. Steve, they've turned things around with them.
Kind of comes across in the way the entire team plays. A blue-collar group, Kevin. Some cast-offs, guys with a chip on their shoulder. But they've got a toughness and an edge about them. And I think it's really helped this team create its identity.
And we've made our way through just over a minute and a half in this fourth quarter. And it's Dragic with the foul. That's his third foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. And the first one at the...
Well, you think about it, Tony Allen, when you talk about him, he may not be a marquee star in the NBA, but his arrival in Memphis has coincided with the team really developing an identity of physicality and toughness, not to mention with them becoming a factor in the West as well. Tell you what, the defense has nothing to worry about out there with him shooting. I mean, you can't dial it in from deep this half at all.
Well, that just adds to what's probably an already insurmountable lead. I think they'll be walking out of here with a pretty easy victory.
Steve, I think that's a given.
Dragic kicks to Gortat. He feeds it to Morris. Nice ball movement by Phoenix. It's stolen by Allen. To the inside. Stolen by Bledsoe. Gortat inside. And Davis sends it back. Allen against Butler. Lets it go with a 3. Allen, that's good. And Clark, you mentioned Tony Allen flying under the radar a bit offensively. You know, he can be erratic. In fact, back in Boston, I think they called him, and Steve, help me with this, they called him Trick or Treat Tony, because you weren't certain just what you were going to get from him from game to game.
That's right. One of the great nicknames I've ever heard. But, you know, I think when you ask people around the league, they're really valuing what Allen brings to the table. Well, that's not really his game. I mean, he shouldn't be shooting the ball from out there.
It's Butler that time on the assist from Eric Bledsoe.
This run probably just a case of too little too late.
But at least they're still going after it and playing hard. It would have been very easy to throw in the towel a while ago.
With the shot. Gortat dishes to Bledsoe. Butler. Another 3 for Phoenix.
And another three-pointer to their second half total.
Yeah, they caught that long-range bug at halftime, and it's been bombs away ever since.
Fades and shoots. Misses there. So it's Memphis picking up the win. It was a solid win, Clark.
Yeah, it was, and I think it came down to will more than skill. They went out and got this one.
And that'll do it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation